Hi, my name is Miranda and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are doing a modification to Lexi's scarf pattern. There's gonna be highs this week in Minnesota where it's like the high is 62. And I am ready for fall. I'm ready for cozy vibes. I'm just ready for it all. So I made a scarf last year and this year we're going to do another scarf and we're just gonna lump it in with Lexi's scarf pattern. They're totally different stitches, totally different yarns. But the pattern will be a 2-for-1 on a scarf pattern because I didn't want to create a new pattern. So this is still Lexi's scarf, but you can think of it as Lexi's granny scarf. So we'll go with that. So these are the colors I am using from WeCrochet.com. They will be linked in the pattern as well as all the directions that If you would like to support a small business, I appreciate your support. Make sure you hit that subscribe if you're not already. I've been really blessed by Crafty Mama in the past 2-3 years. Specifically, I've been doing this for 5 years now. And so Lexi's scarf is definitely in the top 5 of my 25 patterns. And so if you have already purchased this, you will have been sent the updated pattern. And yeah, you can go learn how to do this from someone else for free. That's totally, this will guide you through how to do it. But if you would like to support Lexi's scarf pattern is available on my website. So we are gonna get started. To start off, we are going to do a slip stitch. So you're going to just lay your yarn in your hand and wrap your string around your finger twice. You're going to take the left loop and move it over the right, but keep it on your finger. And then your left, bring it over your right and slide it down. So that is going to be your slip knot. You are going to put your hook through and then pull on the working end of your yarn or your tail end, whatever one. Okay, because I'm holding this, it's not working. But then from here, we are going to do our chain stitch. You're going to bring the top yarn and bring it underneath that bottom yarn like that. So to do a chain stitch, bring the top underneath the bottom like that. And I like to do 5 there. So what you're going to do from here is you are going to put your hook into that first hole or that first chain stitch you did like that, and then you are going to loop your yarn around and you're just going to bring that string under that first loop and under that second loop. All this is doing right here is creating a little circle that we're going to work our way into for our granny square cluster. So from here we're going to do 3 chain stitches. So you can loop and bring the bottom over the top, loop, bottom over the top, loop, bottom over the top. And then anytime you are doing granny squares, that first 3 chain stitches counts as a stitch. So every cluster is going to have 3 stitches in it. Right here, this counts as 1. So now we are going to do double crochet. So you're going to loop, you're going to put your hook through the center of the hole you made, or the center of the circle you made, loop, and you're going to bring it back. So now you'll have 3 on your hook like that. You're going to loop and bring this yarn underneath these 2 strings right here, 2. Then you'll have 2 on your hook, loop, and back. So let me show you again. To do a double crochet, you are going to loop. You're going to go into the center of the circle, and then you're going to go loop and bring that loop underneath the center of the circle there. So then you should have 3 hooks or 3 loops on your hook. You're going to loop again, and you're going to bring the second and the third one over the top, and you'll have 2 on your hook, loop, and go again. Anytime you are at a corner on this pattern, you're going to add 2 chain stitches. Some people do 3. I think it gets a little too loose, so I like to just do 2. And then we are going to do another cluster in the first one. So again, we're going to go into the circle here. So we're going to do another double crochet. So that's 1, 2, and then 3. So that is another cluster right there. So we need to do 4 clusters in our original one. So then I'll meet you at the end. So you're just going to add another 2 chain stitches. Oh, whoops. And then you're going to add your 2 chain stitches. and then you will continue going. So I will meet you at the end to show you how to secure this. Once you finish going all the way around, what you're gonna do is add your 2 chain stitches. And then from here, you are gonna go into, you can see right there, that's where we did our chain stitches to jump up. So you're just gonna put your hook underneath the top 2 like that. So you're gonna go under, and you're gonna loop, and you're gonna go back and back. And that is your first round in your granny square. But now if you are continuing on with that same color, which we are not in this pattern, you would just continue going chain stitch up and you would be done. But since we are going to be changing colors a lot with this pattern, we're gonna add 1 more chain stitch like that. And then we are going to cut our string, and then you will pull it through. And that is our first color and our first little granny cluster there. To add on a different color, we're gonna switch to our next color. So how I like to do it is I like to then do the same slip stitch that we did at the very beginning of the video, and just to have that. Now, I like to flip it over and then start from a different corner than what I just ended. So I will just jump to this side. The reason being that it stays really nice and flat and as a square. So I'm going to put my hook through here, and I'm going to pull it over like this, and I'm going to do 3 chain stitches. 1, 2, 3. From here, we are going, so that counts as your stitch. And so we are going to start, this is in the corner, so we will have another piece that comes in here to connect. But in every time you do a corner, you're gonna add 2 granny clusters and expand. And on the sides, you won't do anything. So for this one, we are going to do our double crochet. Now, if it's not a corner, we are not going to add a chain stitch in between. So only when we're going on the corners so we can have that shape. So from here, you're just gonna jump into this hole right here and start doing your another cluster. So we'll do 1, 2, then 3. And now, because we are in the corner, this is where we will add 2 chain stitches to give us that corner shape. And then we will do another granny cluster in this corner. So you'll now go and do the same one working. So you only expand for granny squares for this part on the corners. And if you get if your corners, if adding 2 chain stitches is just doing too much and it's not staying square and it's excess, then you can just do 1 chain stitch there. Some people will do 3, and I think 3 gets a little bit too much. So, but here we're not adding a corner, so we're gonna just go right into it. So no chain stitches. So we're gonna keep going around, but you every time you should flip it and then start from a different corner. So then it doesn't have one consistent area where you are starting and stopping. And then it'll be, I think it looks better for weaving in ends. But we're gonna just keep going around, and you are gonna do 2 granny squares, alternating colors like this, but it is the same. So I wanted just to show you how it progresses pretty quickly, but the only place that we're doubling up is on the corners. Another trick for making it less burdensome as we do weaving in the ends. So when you go in between, in the corner hole, I like to just lay that string, that end out over it and crochet over it. This way you don't have to weave in as much. So the entire time I'm gonna go around this corner, I'm just gonna make sure that that string gets tucked underneath there. And so then that is one way to make that better. But then, so all 6 stitches, so because I'm gonna do 2 granny clusters in here. So that was my first one, and then I will do the 2 chain stitches, and then I will do the second one to keep us expanding, and I will just make sure that that string is on top of it. So then I will crochet over that. So then it makes it easier for crocheting in the ends, because this will be a project, especially if you're doing color changes, that will require some weaving, but this is one way, at least for the corners, that we're saving us some time. So this is the first part of the scarf, and I will meet you for the next part. When you get to the end of your granny square and you're ready to do the long part of your scarf, we are still going to do our 2 chain stitches. And then you will go and do a slip stitch, just how we have been doing, like that. And now from here, we are going to start doing our granny stripes. So we just finished it this way, and now we're gonna flip it over like this. And we are going to start, and we are gonna do 1, 2, 3 chain stitches. And from here, we are going to add 2 more double crochets into that gap. So 1, and 2. And now the nice thing is since we aren't going around any corners, we're not going to be doing any kind of increases. So we're just going to continue to do the granny clusters. So you don't have to add chain stitches in between, and you will just continue on doing double crochets, clusters across the way, and then I will show you how to end the row. Now on that last opening of your project, right there, you see that hole. Instead of doing a granny cluster, so doing 3 double crochets, we're just going to do 1 double crochet into this corner. And then we are going to turn our work. So then now if you turn it over, you can see that now this time we will go up, and we will do our 3 chain stitches to go up. 1, 2, 3. And then this time we will work 2 more into that opening. And so you will see the repeating pattern, and you will keep going up. I will show you how to change colors, but it is just that and repeat. And then I will show you how to do the color changes. And then once we have the final length of our scarf done, I will show you how to attach the final granny squares. So you should be making 2 granny squares like this, and then we'll do granny stripes to connect them. This is how you're gonna change your colors on your scarf. So you're gonna go to do your last half double crochet, and then when you have 2 on the hook right there, you're gonna stop right there. So you can see I've got 2 on the hook, and you're gonna take your color you're adding in, and you're gonna just do the slip knot like we've done in the beginning. And then you're gonna put the yarn on your hook, and you are just going to make sure you pull that tight so it's still on the same gauge, and you are just going to pull it through. Then you're gonna start and add your 3 chain stitches. I like to do my first chain stitch with both the strings. So you do 1 loop, and then you drop the tail end, 2, and 3, and then turn your work and continue on. And then when you get to the end of your project, you'll weave in these ends. You can tie them in a square knot or just weave them along this way, but that is how you do the color change. And then I will meet you when it's time to connect the 2 pieces we have going. I forgot to mention, you cut your string as well that you just weaved out. When you are ready to join, when you finish your last row and you're ready to join, don't add any chain stitches. And what you're going to do is line up your pieces at the top. Because we worked off our granny squares, they will be the same. So as you're going, just double check that they are about the same length. But as long as you do it consistently on both sides, you will end up this way. So then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your hook and you're gonna go under the first stitch on the green one. And then you'll put your hook under the blue one. So right now we have our loop, our 2 pieces, and then you're gonna loop and go back, 2 on your hook, loop, and back. This is a single crochet. So now we're gonna go under this loop and go under this loop, loop, back, 2 on your hook, loop, and back. So we're just joining them via single crochet, and you will do 1 for 1 and go down the entire way. And then After this, we will do single crochet around the entire border to finalize it, and then we will put tassels on. So under, loop, back, 2 on your hook, loop, and back. And then when you get to the end and you do your final one, you will do 1 chain stitch, cut your yarn, and pull it through. And now we are ready to add a border. And I'm gonna start in a corner because we're gonna hide it with, you can hide it with tassels if you would like. I haven't decided yet. I really like the way this looks right now, so I don't know if I wanna do tassels, but we are going to, you can do a single crochet or slip stitch, either way. And what we're gonna do, same way we've been adding on yarn, and then you're gonna put it on your hook and pull your tail end. You'll pull it through, and then with both pieces of yarn, we will do 1 chain stitch to jump up. Now from here, we're just gonna work with 1 string. When you're going around the corners, you're gonna add 3 in there. So this counts as 1, and then we'll do a single crochet, 2, and then when we come back around and finish our piece, we'll do 1 more into this gap. But then we are just gonna do every single stitch when we're going down the side like this. So that is simple for just a single crochet around, and then this will clean up all your edges and help it look more uniform by adding on a border. So I'm gonna start going, and then when you get up to here, we're gonna add in either 2 or 3. I haven't decided yet when I get up there, but you could see here's a gap, here's a gap. It should be 3 actually now that I'm looking at it. So you'll do 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. So on the sides, you will do 3 in each hole, and then when you are on this granny square, because they already have it, we'll just do 1. So I'm gonna go all the way around, and that is pretty much our scarf. And here is the final scarf. I don't have measurements, but I'm 5'9", and it runs from my neck to my toes twice, so it's almost a 10-foot long scarf, but I like mine obnoxiously long. And you can wrap it twice, and like I said, it's a fool's fall scarf, so it's for the days that it starts off chilly in the morning, and then it gets a little warmer in the afternoon. But this is what the scarf looks like. In the original Lexi scarf pattern, I have directions on how to do the tassels, so go check that out. I left them uneven. I'll probably clean them up a little bit, but this is how it looks at the end. In this video, a couple minutes back, I say add 3 single crochets in each hole on the side. I actually changed my mind and I do 2. It is reflected in the pattern, but so make sure you double check that. But this is the final scarf. I have already gotten a lot of compliments wearing it out in public. I love it. So if you would like to learn how to crochet, support a small business, subscribe and like this video if you haven't already. But if you want to go check out the pattern, it's available on craftymamamur.com. So thanks for watching, and as always, follow along for more parts.